My friends, we live in a world that demands a reaction, a clap back, a comment, a raised voice. But I tell you today, you were not born to react. You were born to rise. You were not made to tremble at the noise, but to walk in peace, power, and poise. When you stay calm, you shake the world in silence. Have you ever felt like the world is poking at you just to get a rise? Like every little thing is designed to make you snap, speak out of turn, defend yourself, prove your worth? That's not a coincidence. That's a trap. Because the moment you react, you give your power away. The moment you let anger, offense, or ego take the wheel, you hand over the keys to someone else. And I'm here to remind you, you were never meant to be driven by emotion. You were made to lead with conviction. Reaction is weakness. Response is power. There's a difference between the two, and that difference can change your life. A reaction is instant, raw, and reckless. It's the quick jab in a heated moment, the sharp word that cuts deeper than you meant, the decision you regret 10 minutes later. Reactions come from the surface, they're emotional waves triggered by storms outside you. But a response? A response comes from depth. It's intentional. It's strong. It comes from the stillness inside you that refuses to be shaken. And listen, this doesn't mean you become cold or passive or emotionless. No, it means you choose your battles, and you choose them wisely. Because every time you react, you're dancing to someone else's tune. But when you respond, you conduct the symphony. You take control of your story. The world respects those who pause, who think, who rise above instead of sinking low. You know why? Because it's rare. Because it takes strength. Anybody can lash out. Anybody can raise their voice. But it takes real courage to stay calm when everything in you is screaming to erupt. It takes true character to breathe instead of break. Here's the truth. People will test you. Life will push you. And your inner calm will be your greatest weapon. The louder they get, the quieter you must become. Because silence isn't weakness. Silence is dominance. It says, I don't owe you my energy. I won't fight a battle beneath my purpose. Don't react. Rise. Rise above the noise. Rise above the bait. Rise above the chaos of a world trying to pull you into its drama. The person who stays grounded in a storm, they are the one others will follow. They are the one who leads, who inspires, who leaves. So the next time you're tempted to fire back, to clap back, to prove something, pause. Smile. Walk away if you must. Not because you're scared, but because you're too powerful to play small. You're not just here to survive. You're here to soar. And you can't soar if you're always flapping at flies. Don't react, rise. Have you ever seen a mighty tree in the middle of a storm? The rain crashes down. The wind howls like it's trying to tear the world apart, but that tree, it doesn't panic. It doesn't flinch. It may sway, but it doesn't break. Why? Because its roots run deep. That's what peace does to a soul. It grounds you. When your roots are deep in truth, in purpose, in who you really are, the storm can scream all it wants, but it can't move you. Too many of us are walking through life like leaves in the wind, tossed and turned by opinions, by headlines, by people who don't even know our name. One bad comment, one tough moment, and we're ready to crumble. But you weren't made to be shaken. You were made to stand. And you stand by being still on the inside. Storms don't shake the rooted tree. That's not just a pretty phrase, it's a mindset. It means you don't run from chaos, you stand through it. It means you don't need to raise your voice to prove your strength. Your peace is your power. While the world reacts, you stay planted. And that kind of strength, it's rare. It's magnetic. It draws people in because deep down, everyone is searching for that kind of calm. But here's the question, what are you rooted in? Because if you're rooted in approval, in popularity, in temporary applause, you'll fall every time those things disappear. But if you're rooted in something deeper, faith, purpose, values, you become unshakable. And make no mistake, unshakable people rise. They rise through the noise. They rise through the storm. They don't get pulled into drama because they're already standing too tall to be touched by it. So, the next time life tries to rattle you, ask yourself, am I reacting or am I rooted? Am I living from emotion or from strength? Because peace isn't passive, it's powerful. Calm doesn't mean weak, it means unmoved. Let the world try to shake you. Let the chaos come. But don't be a leaf in the wind. Be the tree. Be the one who stands. Be the one who shows the world what it means to live from the inside out, not tossed by emotion, but grounded in purpose. This is your time to rise, not just above others, but above your old self. The one who used to break at every storm, the one who used to bend to every voice. No more. Now you stand. Now you rise. Now you're rooted. Have you ever found yourself caught up in the heat of the moment, only to regret your words, your actions, your decisions later on? It's happened to all of us. In those moments, it feels like everything inside you is pushing you to react. Maybe with anger, maybe with frustration, or even with fear. But here's the truth. Staying calm in those moments is not about surrender. It's about strength. It's about control, not over the situation, but over yourself. When you remain calm in chaos, you don't lose. You win. Being calm doesn't mean you're weak, passive, or indifferent. It means you have the ability to control your responses regardless of what's happening around you. It's easy to shout, to retaliate, to get caught in the emotional whirlwind. But it takes real power to remain poised, to breathe, to think before you speak, to walk away if necessary. And in those moments of calm, when the world expects you to explode, you become something greater, something people can't ignore. Because here's the thing, When everyone else is reacting, the one who stays calm, they become the one others turn to. They become the voice of reason in a world filled with noise. And people are drawn to calmness because it's rare. It's a strength that not everyone has, and it commands respect. The world will try to provoke you, to push your buttons, to drag you into battles that aren't even yours. It will push your buttons to see how far it can go. But when you remain unshaken, when you refuse to be rattled, you begin to rise above all of that. You start to move with a quiet confidence that doesn't need validation, that doesn't need approval. You simply are, and that is enough. It's in that calmness, that stillness, that you find the power to move mountains. You find the power to see, to act with purpose. And isn't that the kind of power you want? The kind that doesn't need to prove itself to anyone? The kind that remains steady no matter how strong the storm? When you stay calm, you refuse to be controlled by the chaos around you. You show the world that no matter what happens, you are not a slave to your emotions. You are not a puppet of circumstance. You are in control. And that is the greatest form of strength. So the next time life tries to rattle you, take a deep breath. Let the chaos swirl around you. Let the noise rise, but do not respond in kind. Instead, rise. Rise in your peace. Rise in your strength. Rise in your unshakable calm. This is not surrender. This is mastery. And it's the kind of mastery that will carry you farther than any outburst or reaction ever could. There's something powerful about someone who isn't bothered by the noise of the world. Have you ever noticed how the loudest voices often fade away, but the quiet ones, those who don't engage in drama, are the ones who end up commanding attention? There's a reason for that. People respect calm, focused individuals. They respect the person who refuses to be dragged into arguments, the person who stands unshaken, unbothered. The unbothered spirit commands respect. You see, when you don't react to every piece of criticism, every harsh word, every challenge thrown your way, you send a message. I'm not here to prove myself to you. That, my friend, is the ultimate power. Because the truth is, when you're constantly reacting, you're giving others control over your energy. You're allowing their negativity, their opinions, their actions to dictate your emotional state. But when you refuse to be pulled into that, when you choose peace over reaction, you take your power back. People notice. They may not always say it, but they notice when someone isn't easily rattled. They notice when someone walks with a calm assurance that says, I am not bothered by what you think, by your words, or by your chaos. And guess what happens when people notice? They respect you. They admire you. They begin to look up to you, not because you've fought every battle, but because you've shown that you're above the noise. The more you stay unbothered, the more people see you as a pillar of strength. You no longer need to shout to be heard. You stand tall in your silence. Your actions, your energy, your calmness speak louder than words ever could. In a world that thrives on drama, chaos, and conflict, being unbothered is a revolutionary act. It's the act of saying, I choose peace over panic, and that resonates deeply with those around you. People may come to you for advice, for wisdom, for guidance, not because you're loud, but because you're steady. You are the one who stands firm in the midst of the storm. But it's not just about others, it's about you too. When you refuse to let others drag you into their mess, you protect your peace. And peace isn't just the absence of conflict, it's the presence of purpose. You don't waste your time on things that don't serve you. You don't waste your energy on people who are only there to provoke you. Instead, you invest in what matters, your goals, your dreams, your growth. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this. You don't need to react to gain respect. You already have it, simply by choosing to rise above the noise. You no need to prove yourself, your peace, your calm, and your unshakable spirit do that for you. The unbothered spirit? That's what makes you stand out, not just in the crowd, but in life. And that, my friend, is what the world truly respects. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by the noise around you? The constant chatter, the distractions, the demands of the world trying to pull your attention in every direction. It's easy to get caught in the chaos, to feel like you have to respond to everything and everyone. But let me ask you this, what happens when you stop reacting to the noise? What happens when you rise above it instead? When you don't react, you rise above the noise. Think about it. Every time you choose to react, you're engaging in the noise. You're adding fuel to the fire, feeding the drama, getting pulled into a cycle that keeps you stuck. But when you stop reacting, when you stop giving your energy to every comment, every criticism, every provocation, you free yourself. You stop playing by the world's rules and start living by your own. Imagine walking through life with the ability to tune out the distractions, to rise above the drama. The world will still be noisy. People will still try to drag you into their battles, but you'll be standing above it all, with a sense of calm that cannot be disturbed. That's when you truly begin to rise, not just above others, but above your own old habits, your own limiting beliefs, your own tendencies to get swept up. Not every battle is yours to fight. There's power in knowing when to step back, when to let things pass by without engaging. You don't You don't have to justify yourself to everyone who doubts you. You don't have to explain your decisions to those who don't understand your path. Because when you stop reacting, you rise into your own power. You become someone who doesn't need to defend or prove, they simply are. And here's the real truth. The higher you climb, the less the noise below can reach you. As you rise, the distractions fade into the distance. The insults, the judgments, the negativity, they can no longer touch you. They may try, but you're already above them. The higher your focus, the clearer your purpose, the more your energy will naturally rise above the noise. So, how do you rise? By letting go of the impulse to react, by learning to choose your battles and let the rest go, by shifting your focus from the distractions to your direction. The moment you stop reacting is the moment you reclaim control of your life. You stop letting the world dictate your emotions and your energy. Instead, you live from a place of peace, purpose, and power. Next time, noise threatens to win. Take a deep breath and remember you don't need to respond. You don't need to fight. Just rise. Let the world shout. Let the chaos swirl. But you remain anchored, because when you rise above the noise, you not only move closer to your dreams, you show the world just how powerful true peace really is. In conclusion, my friends, the power to rise above is already within you. Life will throw its challenges, its distractions, its noise, but you don't have to engage with every one of them. You have the choice to remain calm, to rise above the drama, to protect your peace. When you stop reacting, you step into your true power. You become the calm in the storm. The one who stands unshaken when everything else falls apart. So I challenge you today, refuse to be pulled into the chaos. Refuse to let the world dictate how you feel, how you act. Choose to rise. Rise above the noise, rise above the distractions, and rise above your old patterns. As you do, you'll not only find strength within yourself, but you'll inspire others to rise with you.